Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to episode 12 I guess, because Backlash counts as well, of the Total Extreme Wrestling Save 2020 version. Of course, that's Raw, Smackdown, NXT, NXT UK, and are you ready to get extreme? Because we are on the road to Extreme Rules, the final pay-per-view before the biggest party in all of the SummerSlam. So we have got a lot to build up, a lot to get through. If you missed Backlash, if you didn't watch it, it dropped on the channel on Sunday. Make sure you go and watch that right now, then come back for this one, or else it's not really going to make much sense. So please do that, and we'll get started. Monday Night Raw. Of course, Drew McIntyre is still WWE Champion. Let's see what happens here, and let's see what AJ and Kevin Owens are up to, shall we? We open up then with a 71 rated segment, and it's AJ Styles who immediately makes his entrance to the ring. Of course, no Money in the Bank briefcase with him. Kevin Owens won the match last night in a bit of a weird way, but he won the match, and AJ Styles is furious. He demands that we show the footage again, and we see it. The referee pushing AJ Styles and then counting a very, very quick 1, 2, 3 to give Kevin Owens the Money in the Bank briefcase. AJ is furious and demands that something be done about it. When the music of Mr. Vincent Kennedy McMahon, everyone would pop for that, wouldn't they? So it kind of works. Mr. McMahon comes out, sort of tweener. He's a tweener, really. He says, AJ, you know what? This company is built on competition, and you're right. Our officials let you down last night. I can't argue with it. So Kevin, I think you need to come out here. Kevin Owens comes out with a Money in the Bank briefcase, and McMahon says, I'm sorry, you have to hand it over. Owens and McMahon have a history, by the way, of course. Kevin Owens headbutted Vince McMahon last time they were in the ring together. And Owens is, like, not refusing, but you can see he doesn't want to do it. And the fans are sort of egging him on. Owens is a Stone Cold type character now. And Owens is about to refuse. And McMahon says, you've got two choices. You either hand it over or I strip you of it anyway. And it makes no difference. But if you hand it over, I promise you, it'll work out in your favour. You can do it the easy way or you can do it the hard way. But the easy way would be me stripping you and you're done. Think about it, Kevin. And he does. Kevin Owens says, Ryan, looks at the screen where the fast count is just on a replay over and over and over again. And Kevin Owens hands the briefcase over to Vincent Kennedy McMahon. And AJ Styles is expecting McMahon to hand the briefcase back to Styles, and McMahon says, hang on, no, hold on, because you still lost last night. You put the briefcase on the line, and you still lost. So I think there's only one way we can do this. Kevin Owens, you have a rightful claim to be the Money in the Bank holder. AJ Styles, you have a rightful claim to be a Money in the Bank holder. So let's put this briefcase in a match that the briefcase belongs to be in. Of course, there's 6 or 7 men that challenge for it that have to climb up a ladder to get to it. So AJ and Kevin Owens, you're going to have to climb up a ladder to get to it again, because at Extreme Rules, you will take on each other in a ladder match, and the winner will be Mr. Money in the Bank. There'll be no refereeing, no fast counts, no disqualifications, no funny business. Just 2 men, a ladder, and a briefcase. AJ and Kevin Owens will go to war again. Good opening segment for the show. We got Vince McMahon out there as well. Using him as an authority figure kind of makes sense. I've tried to use Triple H, but of course he's heavily involved in NXT and the game doesn't accept it, so whatever. Vince works, so that's fine. And yeah, Kevin Owens is a babyface and AJ Styles is a heel, matched together so well, and yeah, hopefully they will do really well again. We can officially announce it. There is the graphic. Extreme Rules will see Owens and Styles in a ladder match with a Money in the Bank briefcase at the top of it. Will Styles win his briefcase back, or will Owens walk away again with a victory? After that, tag team action, a 60 rated tag team match, and yeah, I've kind of messed this up a tiny bit, haven't I? Yes, I did have it. I made it a bit long actually, but either way, 60 rated is okay for the pops. Becky was obviously the Raw Women's Champion. Becky Lynch was the man who could carry it. The man who could carry it. You're welcome for that. And of course, Becky and Bianca Belair defeat the Iconics. 22 minutes. Becky getting the pin, but Bianca getting a victory as well. 60 rated match is disappointing, but it's fine. We'll carry on. Afterwards, Becky gets on the mic for a 61 rated segment, and look at all these names. Look at all these names. You have no idea what's coming, but let's explain it. Becky gets on the mic and says, last night I went to war with two of the very best, Asuka and Charlotte. We had a great match, and I want to keep doing that, but there are so many opportunities, so many people out there that deserve opportunities that may not get them, and I want to make sure they get them. I've been speaking to the authorities in the back, and we've decided something, and I'm very happy to announce that at Extreme Rules will be the finals of the Queen of the Ring tournament. It's going to be just Raw superstars, and the winner of that final will go on to SummerSlam to take on the man Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Champion. Now it's going to be 8 women who get the opportunities. We'll go through the matches in just a second, but the winner at Extreme Rules gets Becky at SummerSlam. It's just a way to sort of highlight the Raw Women's division, but also make that title match mean something. We could have put Becky in there against a filler opponent to get her through to SummerSlam, but I just thought, let's showcase everyone. Let's try and build someone up through a tournament and make them a contender at SummerSlam. I know who's going to win, by the way, but I'm not going to reveal it just yet. Then we go for the announced matches for this Queen of the Ring tournament. So next week we'll see two big matches. Shayna Baszler will be taking on Bianca Belair, 2 NXT graduates looking for a big opportunity. Of course, Shayna had a match with Becky at WrestleMania, and Bianca has just teamed with Becky. Bianca still not had a really big opportunity on Raw. Will the Queen of the Ring be the opportunity? Shayna and Bianca next week, but that's not all. Asuka, a former champion in every brand that she's been in, against a giant Nia Jax. 2 big contenders of the women's division on Raw. They've already had titles opportunities in the save. Will they earn themselves another one? It's going to be Asuka and Nia Jax next week here on Raw. That's 2 of the matches. The other 2, though, are also announced for in 2 weeks' time. And here's one of them. We'll be taking Charlotte Flair and putting her up against Kairi Sane. Charlotte and Kairi, a dream match for many people. And these 2 will hopefully not let us down. It'll be Charlotte Flair and Kairi Sane on one half of this draw. Charlotte Flair, Kairi Sane, 2 weeks' time. Queen of the Ring. And finally, 2 rivals will also go at it. Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott have been having a thing lately, and they will be the final semi-final in this Queen of the Ring tournament. Final quarter-final, if I can count. So it's Shayna Bianca, it is Asuka Nia Jax, it is Kairi Sane and Charlotte Flair, and Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan. One of these 8 women will go on to SummerSlam. 2 of them will go on to Extreme Rules to the finals. So let's see what happens next week. Some more tag team action here. 54, so not great, but there's a reason for this. I'll explain. The Viking Raiders get a win over Shane Thorne and Brendan Vink. Again, pretty good from the Viking Raiders. 57 and 60. Not so great from the heels. I just needed to get them another win after not getting the titles last night, and there was literally no heels on the Raw roster to put them against. It is so frustrating. I may have to have a look at NXT and start to bring up a couple of people, not big stars on NXT, but people who aren't being used as such, that have got sort of 40 to 50 popularity, and put them in here as people that can take losses and be involved in matches, because we just don't have it. The main roster is so limited. After the match, the Viking Raiders get on the microphone and basically put another challenge out there to the Disciples and say, last night it was taken away from us, but don't worry, because the Viking experience will roll on and roll through the Disciples very, very, very soon. These guys will continue their feud, that's for sure. Big match up here, 72, saving the show really, and it's Randall Keith defeating Humberto Carrillo in about 15 minutes. So this is pretty good. Steal the show. I said steal the show. They have done. Orton hitting the running punt, and he needs to start in the RKO, doesn't he? It's a bit harsh. I might be able to change that in a second, actually. Orton, 77 performances, fabulous. Humberto, 50, pretty good. 40 pops, so that's a 10 bigger than his pops. Yeah, that's really, really good. And 72 segment rating is great. Orton getting a big victory, by the way, a big victory. So Orton not involved last night at Backlash. Has he got his eyes on a title picture? Possibly, especially as, yeah, he definitely does when he has a promo on Drew McIntyre after the match and just says he wants a shot. Drew, you're sitting at the top, and Randy Orton wants his shot. He deserves it. He's been here 12, 15 years, whatever it is. He deserves to be at the top again. Nobody can lace his boots. He's the greatest professional wrestler of all time. And Randy Orton wants the WWE Championship back in his clutches. A 70-rated promo, by the way, Orton. Really good stuff. No script. So well done, Randy Orton. We come back from break, though, to find Bobby Lashley reacting to that. Of course, Lashley lost last night to Drew McIntyre in the WWE Championship match at Backlash. He sort of says, Randy, I get that you want your shot, but maybe you need to wait to the back of the line, mate, because I'm not done with Drew McIntyre. Bobby Lashley is also a challenger, it seems, to Drew's title. Drew's got Orton sniffing around him, and he's got Bobby Lashley also sniffing around him. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with Drew McIntyre's title over the next few weeks. Third tag match of the night, and a 57 here, not fantastic. And yeah, I went over 20 again, and I probably shouldn't have done that because I forgot things, didn't I? Very, very bad from me. Anyway, Andrade and Austin Theory get a victory over Samoa Joe and Cedric Alexander. So this should be a lot better than it is, and I've kind of let it down. But Andrade, an in-ring performance of 70 is fabulous. 61 for Joe and 59 for Cedric is okay. 62 for Austin is okay as well. But sad to see, Austin Theory sustained a strained wrist. Not good, but I'm so glad it's not Andrade. I tell you now, because Andrade, there is a plan in place for him, and injuries will not help. 57 is okay, but afterwards is the main thing. So Andrade gets on the mic and is just, he is hyping himself. His ego is through the roof at the moment. After beating Ricochet in a 2 out of 3 falls match last night, Andrade believes he is the greatest US champion of all time, and he's backed it up, and he is unstoppable. And the lights go out. The lights go dead out. The fans pop. The lights come back on, and Andrade is in the ring. He's fine. Austin Theory is in the ring. He's fine. Selena Vega in the ring. Fine. And then Andrade realises that the United States Championship that was on his shoulder is no longer on his shoulder. The United States Championship has gone. The blackout has caused the United States Championship to be stolen without Andrade even realising it. Bizarre. So the question is, who took the US title? 70-rated segment that was, by the way. I'm not going to show you what it was on screen because I don't want to reveal who said it. So who took it? We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, we move on to this one. Drew McIntyre cutting a promo on Lashley and Orton, basically saying, as a babyface champion does, you want some? Come get some. I'll take you all on. I don't care. You'll get a Claymore, you'll get a Claymore, and I'll walk away with the WWE Championship. So let's do this. I'm not got a problem. That's ahead of the main event then. Drew is in action in the main event. And yeah, we'll see if we can make this work. It's Drew McIntyre against Buddy Murphy. Yeah, the heel side of the roster isn't great on Raw, so we need to figure this out. But anyway, Drew and Murphy in the main event gets us a 67. So that's not Drew and Buddy Murphy. My God, what's wrong with me today? That is Rey Mysterio and Angel Garza for 67, which again is pretty good because Rey 61, Angel Garza 60. I'm looking over here at what I thought was the script written down there, and I have missed it. So let's just... sorry about that. But anyway, this is pretty good. Rey Mysterio back in action on Monday Night Raw. 15 minutes or so, and a 67. Yeah, is better than the Pops at the moment because Rey Mysterio is 60 popularity. Rey Mysterio, are you joking me? Seriously? Anyway, it's just to advance the Seth and Rey Mysterio feud. Rey Mysterio's back, and he is in winning form again. The break has helped him, and now he's won a match here. Afterwards, Seth Rollins makes his entrance and wants the answer. Rey Mysterio, are you in or are you out? Are you with us or you are against us? And Rey says, no, I'm not in. Rey Mysterio announces his decision that he will not be joining the Disciples. 77 for this is really, really good. And then, of course, Seth doesn't take that lightly, does he? A 4-on-1 beatdown of Rey Mysterio. 52 for this, so this hasn't worked. Aiken performing poorly, which isn't great. Rollins was a star, but I don't know why it's so low. But anyway, yeah, Rey Mysterio gets beaten down 4-on-1, and not a good way for Rollins not a good way for Rey Mysterio, to end the show. He may have said no to Rollins, and that could be the biggest mistake he has made. It's not ending the show though. The main event is Drew against Buddy Murphy. We get to it eventually, and it's a 74. Wow. Wow, that is fabulous. A really good main event. Drew McIntyre 73, really good stuff. Murphy 58. Murphy getting a 74. Obviously, Drew's the man who's carrying it, but fair play. This has been really, really good, actually. And Drew gets a win. Good, solid win for the WWE Champion against a tag team wrestler. Buddy Murphy loses nothing by it. Being in the main event is just actually a big help for him. It might help his pop. And Drew gets a victory. And as he's celebrating, he's cut off by the Big Show. Now, it'll all make sense soon enough. It may sound weird right now, but the Big Show comes out and challenges Drew. He doesn't sort of get on the mic and challenge him. He sort of just comes out, points at the title, and nods like that. And Drew's like, right. And they're just sort of face to face as we go off the air. Is the idea. Big Show. Yeah, we haven't used him really. I don't think we've used him at all. We're going to use him here and insert him into this sort of picture. We've got to get Drew through to SummerSlam. There's a plan in place for Drew McIntyre, and he's got to get through it. There's a plan for Extreme Rules. Big Show is a part of getting to that plan, as it'll all be revealed. 64, though, the end of the show gives us still a 74 Raw, so that main event has helped us. I mean, a 77 from Mysterio and Rollins there. I mean, it's pretty good across the board. So really, really good stuff, actually. 74, I'm really happy with that. And after the match, on the social media accounts of the WWE, this is different, isn't it? We can announce this. Next week, it will be a triple threat match. A number one contenders triple threat match. These three men have all made it clear they want a shot at Drew McIntyre. Well, one of them will at Extreme Rules. Will it be Randy Orton? Will it be Bobby Lashley? Or will it be the Big Show? We will find out next week. The winner of this one takes on Drew at the pay-per-view in an Extreme Rules matchup. This is a big, big main event. Okay, main event, and we open up with a tag match, and it's the Street Profits in action against Jinder Mahal and Brendan Vink. Now, we're trying to use main event to improve some of the heels, aka Brendan Vink. They are losing, but hopefully the popularity of him will help. Well, it will help his popularity of being in the ring with Street Profits. Anyway, 56 for Montez, 56 for Angelo, 54 for Jinder was pretty good, and Brendan 39 is about his pop, so it's okay. But the Street Profits get another victory. After the match, they get on the mic and they sort of cut a backstage promo saying, well, cut an in-ring promo, I guess, saying, listen, Viking Raiders, we apologise. We got in the way, we apologise, and we also apologise because we're going to continue getting in the way because, you know what, yeah, we may have gotten in the way, but that was still your shot. You didn't get the job done. We will get the job done. And if you think we won't, try and stop us. Because if you want the smoke, we want the smoke. Street Profits basically saying they are in the tag team hunt as usual. And these three teams, they're sort of like a duel happening between sort of three teams. Just imagine them all, but they're all sort of circling each other at the moment where nothing's particularly happening in terms of violence, but they're just sort of circling each other, sort of rounding each other out at the moment. We'll see where it goes from there. Shayna Baszler got a very good promo, 75 promo here on Becky Lynch, sort of saying how she is going to win the Queen of the Ring tournament, and at SummerSlam, Becky Lynch, Shayna Baszler is your opponent and Shayna Baszler will beat you. Let's see if she's right. 75, really good promo. Very, very surprised with that. After that, her opponent on Monday, Bianca Belair, was in action, defeating Billie Kay in about 8 minutes. 56 for this, pretty good. Bianca 52, Billie 53, so a 56 rated match is pretty good, and Bianca gets a victory to sort of give us some momentum going into Monday when she takes on Shayna Baszler in the Queen of the Ring tournament. Yeah. Why not? Seth Rollins got a promo, 68 rated promo on Rey Mysterio, but basically saying that it's the biggest mistake of Rey's life and Seth Rollins will end the legend of Rey Mysterio. 68 for the promo, ahead of the main event where Rollins was in action against Apollo Crews. for a 76 rated match. Really good. And Seth was off his game as well. Seth 78, Apollo 54, and Rollins gets the victory, of course, with the pedigree in just under 20 minutes. A really good main event for main event. Sort of one of those where it sort of says to people, if you're not watching main event, look, you've missed out on a great wrestling match. That's the idea anyway. 74, really good main event. It really shows how having a big main event and an impressive main event helps your shows, particularly on TV. So that's good. Okay, then NXT, we picked up last week off the back of NXT TakeOver in Your House, and we're starting a new cycle. We continue that this week, a big main event planned. Keith Lee, Johnny Gargano, steel cage with the North American Championship on the line. Will Dexter Lumis, though, have a part to play as Johnny Gargano's new bodyguard? Let's find out. We open up with Finn Balor. Finn Balor, I really get annoyed when Mauro Ranallo keeps calling him Balor. It's Finn Balor. It's Finn Balor. Anyway, Balor defeats Tony Nese. Good match here. Okay match. Balor, you probably expect, could do a little bit better. A 68 performance there. 47 from Tony Nese is better than his pop. He's at a 40 pop. So that's not too bad. And a 66, a strong start to the show. Nothing spectacular, but a solid wrestling match that put over Balor over a quite powerful babyface in Tony Nese. He's short, and yes, he is a cruiserweight, but he's a sort of power cruiserweight, if that makes sense. It kind of does. He's not a flippy cruiserweight. He's a power cruiserweight. So putting Balor over Nese just really helps him again. More and more and more. Of course, Balor was involved last week in the main event, teaming with the Grizzled Young Veterans against the Broserweight and Joaquin Wilde. Balor, of course, played a part in the finish when him and Matt Riddle went brawling up, leaving Pete Dunne to be taken advantage of by the Grizzled Young Veterans. And that comes into play today afterwards. Balor is celebrating when he's attacked by Matt Riddle. And again, they start brawling. Matt Riddle isn't done with Finn Balor. And that's the idea we're saying. They left the show last week brawling off camera. We started this week with the fight basically still going. Balor and Riddle just brawling. Neither man really getting an advantage. I know it says here Riddle runs in and attacks, beats Balor down to the mat. It's just the easiest way to do it. But I'm telling you, neither man really gets an advantage. And Riddle and Balor are starting to heat up a little bit. It plays into the Tag Team Championship storyline, as we'll see later. But Balor and Riddle. The NXT champion was in action. A good 10-minute match here. 76 from Adam Cole is very, very good. And a 70 rated match is really good. 3.5 stars. Oni Lorcan as well. Obviously took the pinfall. A 37 performance. He's on a 20 pop. Oni Lorcan, 20 pop. Do one database. But anyway, really good performance from him. And a really good match. 10 minutes. Adam Cole getting a good victory. The NXT champion looking strong. And afterwards he cut a promo on his challenger next week, Kushida, saying basically, who the hell is this guy? Who the hell is this guy? You hear stuff of a really good Japanese wrestler, an import from Japan. Well, he's not Shinsuke Nakamura, let's be honest. He's not that guy. He's not a former NXT champion. He's not a future NXT champion. Adam Cole is the greatest NXT champion of all time, and that will stay the same next week. Kushida, this is your moment in the sun, and then you'll be buried again. Yes, he would say buried as well. After a win in the main event last week, Grizzled Young Veterans continue their momentum, defeating Dominik Dijakovic and Jake Atlas in a 10-minute tag match. 54, not bad at all, really, when you look at the popularity. Just Zach Gibson really, really pushing this one and holding it together. James Drake, 43, really good from him. Dominik Dijakovic, a 41 performance. I'm really impressed with that. Jake Atlas, 35, is okay. And yeah, a good win for the Grizzled Young Veterans against two sort of lower mid-card baby faces, I guess, at this point. That hurts to say for Dominik Dijakovic, but the database has ruined me on that. But it's a good win for the GYV, and they go forward. And it's announced in 2 weeks' time they will get their opportunity. A rematch from NXT TakeOver in Your House with a twist. This time under Tornado Tag rules. All 4 men in the ring at the same time. It'll be Zach Gibson, James Drake, the Grizzled Young Veterans taking on the Broserweight, Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne, with the NXT Tag Team Championships on the line. Tornado Tag rules for a big title match in 2 weeks' time. Rhea Ripley and Tegan Nox were backstage cutting an interview with sort of whatever the interviewer is, Sarah Schreiber, something like that. Anyway, Dakota Kai and Gonzalez were the subject of the interview. 50 rated promo is pretty good, just sort of saying that they're fed up of Kai getting the easy way out. And Kai, yes, she may be NXT champion, but there are people that they think deserve to be champion more, including themselves. And tonight they're going to make a statement by pinning the NXT Women's Champion. The match itself then gets us at 50 again. That's okay, actually, for the women's division. It's pretty good. Rhea Ripley and Tegan Nox defeat Kai and Gonzalez. Tegan Nox pinning Gonzalez. We'll take a look at this in terms of performances first. And Tegan Nox, 50, very good from her. Rhea Ripley, 51, very good. Raquel, 24. Dakota, 40 is a little bit low. And they absolutely have zero chemistry as partners. Well, that's good. That is brilliant. Anyway, the sort of booking of the match, they can have 15 minutes. They can go back and forth. You can definitely have Tegan in there as sort of the face in peril. Would work really well. I think she'd work in that role. Rhea Ripley on the hot tag would work as well. And then it gets to the point where it's all breaking down and Dakota gets knocked to the outside. Raquel's a legal woman in the ring with Tegan Nox. And Dakota could come in and help her. She doesn't. Just showing the selfish nature of the NXT Women's Champion. Yes, Raquel is her ride and die, I guess, to be honest with you at the moment. But Dakota Kai cares about herself only, and she shows that there. Raquel's not going to really have an issue with it going forward. We're not going to play into a split between the two, at least not yet. It's just to add a bit of character to Dakota Kai to say she is a selfish champion. She will look out for herself first and nobody else second. Pretty good match though here. 50, I will take that for the women's division. 66 for a Johnny Gargano promo ahead of the main event tonight against Keith Lee. Just saying that, yes, it's a steel cage. And yes, Keith Lee, you are a monster. But I have downed monsters in my whole career here in NXT. I have downed beasts. I have downed monsters. I have downed the unbeatables. The unbeatables have been beaten. And at NXT TakeOver in your house, you were beaten. Tonight, that continues because the North American champion doesn't want to lose this belt anytime soon. 66 for a, yeah, not bad of a promo, that 66. You kind of expect better from Johnny at times, but yeah, you'll take it. 40 rated for this isn't great. Road Agent was wrong as well. That's a problem. But I'll talk you through what I'm going through for here. We go to a creepy sort of shot and the music ramps up that it's creepy. And the camera starts to pan up and it's a dusty, old warehouse type thing. There's spider webs. That literally, it looks like it's been abandoned for years. And there is Tommaso Ciampa, chained to the wall. Of course, last week Ciampa was dragged away by Karrion Kross after the beatdown in front of Adam Cole. This week it looks like Ciampa is in trouble. He is chained to the wall, and in a chair next to him is Scarlett Bordeaux, just reading a book, to be honest with you, but she's there just watching, basically on watch out. Next to her is a table full of tools, is what you see. And it is not, we do not show anything graphic on the screen, but to play into the character of Karrion Kross, of this psychopath, and Scarlett Bordeaux, who's a psychopath of her own. Tommaso Ciampa used to be the psychopath, but now he's seemingly lost his edge in that sense, and it's taken him to this position where he's chained to a wall and he seems to be being tortured by Karrion Kross. Ciampa, when he's chained to the wall, can have like cuts all over him and all that sort of stuff, but you got to watch how much graphicness you do. This is obviously a wrestling show. Karrion Kross is not involved on camera, but you can hear him. You can hear a preparing of a tool, like the metal clanging together. It's something a little bit different. It hasn't worked in terms of the segment range, but you let me know in the comments if this is the sort of thing you think would work for Karrion Kross. I'm thinking let's make him an absolute killer. I mean, I've got to book my way out of it that Ciampa gets out, and we'll see what happens next week. But yeah, 57 for a tag match here, mixed tag team match actually. Kushida and Mia Yim defeat the, I believe they're husband and wife actually, Roderick Strong and Marina Shafir. Schaefer, I think it's Schaefer. 13 minutes or so they got. Kushida getting. Okay, I probably should have put that Roderick Strong loses the match because Kushida's just made a woman tap with a Kushida lock. Okay, game. Okay. But anyway, pretty good all round here. Mia 52 was pretty good. Kushida 60. Marina Shafir 28 is okay for her popularity, and 50 for Roderick Strong isn't that great actually from him. 57 could have been better. pretty average for NXT, that. After the match, though, Kushida is jumped by the Undisputed Era. Adam Cole sort of stands on the stage as a bait, I guess. Kushida starts walking up the ramp and he's jumped there by Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish. Roderick Strong gets involved too. And the challenger is in trouble going into next week. 57 is okay. Again, just okay. The first of two backstage promos before the main event. The Broserweights are together. Matt Riddle and Finn Balor, the sort of fight broke down between the two. You could say it was broken up. And Riddle enters the room where Dunn is, and Dunn says, listen, you need to get your head in the game, because I understand that Finn Balor got to you last week, and I understand that you've got a beef with him, but you are an NXT tag team champion. I need a partner, or the Grizzled young veterans are going to take this from us. So Matt, get your head in the game, or there's no point. There's no point us doing this. Just a little bit of friction. We're not gonna sort of break them up, but just a little bit of friction, just to play to the idea that Matt Riddle's head may not be on the tag team championships. It may be on Finn Balor, and it's a problem for Riddle right now, especially as in 2 weeks' time they will defend the belts. So Riddle needs to get his head in the game. After that, we get the rebuttal from Keith Lee, just as he's about to go out for the match, vowing to win back the North American Championship, to silence the critics, to down the Garganos. Because for Keith Lee, you just need to bask in his glory. The match itself then, the main event tonight, Steel Cage. We're packing a lot into this. It's a big main event. Steel Cage, North American Championship. Keith Lee, Johnny Gargano gets us 66. That's a little bit disappointing. Keith Lee, 53. Wow. I wasn't expecting it to be that low. That is disappointing. But as you can see here, Johnny Gargano retains the North American Championship. He only won it a week ago. We were never really going to take the belt off him here. There's a reason Gargano's won it, so that Keith Lee maybe can be pushed onto something bigger, whereas Gargano is a nice spot for him as the champion. Dexter Lumis was out there at ringside and plays a part in the finish. So you can play the fact that Gargano and Lee have a battle in that cage, 20-minute battle. It was a spectacle, which maybe why Lee didn't do that well, maybe. But they do a proper battle, and with Gargano down, Keith Lee starts to climb. And he climbs up, and he climbs over the top. And as he's starting to climb down, he looks to see that Dexter Lumis is standing underneath him. Lee thinks the best way to do it is to drop, and he does, sort of midway from the cage, because Keith Lee's a very big man, so you have to try and plan it correctly. He drops, thinking he'll take out Dexter Lumis, land at the bottom, reclaim the NXT North American Championship. But what he finds is that Dexter Lumis catches him, properly catches him in his arms. Keith Lee's amazed. Like, look at the size of Keith Lee. He wouldn't have thought it's possible. But the strength of Dexter Lumis has made it possible. And as that's happening, as Keith Lee's climbing, Gargano's getting back to his feet. Gargano is slowly inching his way towards the door. And as Gargano gets to the door and the door swings open, Keith Lee drops from the cage. And as Keith Lee's caught, Gargano gets out the door. And Gargano just gets to the floor before Keith Lee is dropped to the floor. And yeah, it's a tight one, but Gargano retains the championship. 66 then for the main event gives us a 67 rated NXT. Again, pretty good for NXT, an upper average show, but nothing spectacular today. Adam Cole and Oney Lorcan was great. Adam Cole's amazing, to be fair, and I'm hoping that main event next week against Kushida could be a real classic. But yeah, not bad. Not bad is what you would say. Okay, NXT UK. Last week, of course, we had the NXT UK Championship on the line. Volta beating Ilya Dragunov. Tonight, we have a debut. Drake Maverick is here on NXT UK, and he will be competing on the brand for the very first time. We've got a lot of things to pick up on, a lot of things to go forward with. Let's do this. We open up with tag team action. 30 rated for this, which is okay, but not fantastic either. A-Kid sustained an elbow MCL sprain. And A-Kid's a problem in this, in a way. A-Kid 35 performance in this. 56 for Killian Dane is brilliant. Rob Terry and Gabriel Kidd have debuted in the brand, both signs for heels. Gabriel Kidd, a sort of cocky, young, arrogant heel, while Rob Terry is a bit of a monster. And yeah, Gabriel Kidd, though, great initial rating for his gimmick, which is good. His performance not great. Rob Terry, 42, good performance. And Kidd and Dane get the victory as a potential tag team in the tag team hunt, depending on that injury to Akid. A 30 rated is an okay, got the crowd buzzing, so we will take it and we will move on. Akid was angry after the match, upset that Gabriel Kidd almost injured him, so that may have been the issue. And he did get injured, so that's great. Oh, no, it was Rob Terry's botch. Cheers, Rob. Great debut. Fantastic. Anyway, after the match, Akid and Dane were celebrating their victory when Gallus ran in and attacked them. Of course, there was that big 8-man tag a few weeks ago, and Gallus, the former tag team champion, sent there's a challenger here, and they are trying to take them out of the game. We'll see what happens with those. The NXT United Kingdom Women's Champion Kaylee Ray was in action, defeating Lana Austin in about 10 minutes. A debut here for Lana Austin. Pretty good debut, actually. 31 from her, 32 from Kaylee Ray. So it's about the same. This was a storytelling match, so they weren't really pushing it either too much, and it's about their popularity, so it's not too bad. And a 33 rate segment is okay. Good rating as well, very good rating actually for Lana Austin's seductress gimmick. So we will take that, and we will happily take it. A good win for Kaylee Ray. After the match, though, out comes Piper Niven, and Piper Niven is, well, challenging again. She says, look, last time it was a DQ or a count out. I can't remember exactly how we did it, but it was a false finish, and I want my shot again. And out comes Toni Storm. Toni Storm defeated Isla Dawn last week. She's got some momentum, and she wants her name in this title picture hunt. And both women put cases across. Kaylee Ray will take on anyone. She doesn't mind. Both women have made their case. 36 for the segment, and it's announced that next week we will get the match, a triple threat match for the NXT UK Women's Championship. Kaylee Ray has got a big challenge. It's Toni Storm and Piper Niven who stand in her way. Kaylee Ray, Toni Storm, Piper Niven, triple threat next week. That's not all, though. It's announced that in 2 weeks' time we've got a massive main event. This two bitter rivals. Chris Brooks has come in and made Tyler Bate his number one target. Bate does not like to back down. These two will do battle in an NXT UK ring for the very first time in 2 weeks' time. Bate, Brooks, wow, it should be fabulous. Main event time then, it's going to be Drake Maverick against Fabian Aichner. Maverick's debut gives us a 55 rated NXT UK main event, which is pretty good. Drake 64, great performance from him, and Fabian Aichner at 37. Drake's underdog gimmick, good rating too. And yeah, we're gonna put Drake Maverick as a potential challenger for Volta, you see. So this works really well. Drake's rating is one of the popular in the brand. He'll go in there as a star. His picture's not great. That's a proper rock star spud picture. But Drake Maverick gets the victory, defeating Fabian Aichner with a tilt-the-world DDT. Very good match for a main event NXT UK. Afterwards, Volta was at ringside, and Drake Maverick just... Honestly, Drake Maverick, what you can do with the charisma that he's got, you can just play off it. And he's celebrating the victory. He's happy. And he walks out the ring. Drake Maverick walks out the ring. Volta is sort of standing there looking at Drake Maverick. He's furious. He's not furious, but he's disappointed at Fabian Aichner's loss. And Drake Maverick just sort of confidently swaggers over, smiles at Volta, even taps the belt on his shoulder, just goes out and carries on walking. Drake Maverick is just absolutely ballsy, like as a not because he necessarily has the physical nature to back it up, because Volta in theory should kill him, but Drake Maverick doesn't care. He goes for it and swaggers off, and Volta's like, what the hell? What just happened? Volta's so shocked he doesn't even react. Of course he's going to be furious about it in the next few weeks, but that's how the show ends. Drake Maverick walks back up, celebrates, and leaves. And Volta's just like, who the hell is this guy? 48 is pretty good ending for the show. For NXT UK, it's not bad. A 47 increased our popularity in 56 regions. And as you can see, we built the show up and up and up and up. 30 for the start, 33. Then we went up into a 55. So pretty good, pretty good. Okay, finally, Smackdown. Friday Night Smackdown on Fox. And of course, at Backlash, it was a Smackdown main event. We open up with a 69 rate segment. I kind of expected better. Basically, Roman Reigns comes out to the ring and apologises to the fans for his performance at Backlash. He wanted to slay the beast, slay the animal, slay the monster of the Fiend, and he couldn't get it done. He couldn't get it done. And for the first time in his career, Roman Reigns couldn't get it done. And he's a bit down. He's a bit, I don't know, unconfident for once. And Braun Strowman makes his entrance. And Braun Strowman gets on the mic and says, listen, Roman, me and you have had real battles in the past. Me and you have caused a lot of pain to each other. But there's one thing I've always done with you, Roman Reigns, and that's respected you. And I respect you even more for going toe-to-toe with one of the scariest beings in this company. One of, because, like, you know, look at me. But one of the scariest in the company, and that's the Fiend. I respect you even more. Don't beat yourself up about it, because you are one of the best in this company. And I would put this title on the line against you any day and be proud to do so. Just a tease that maybe we're going to get Strowman and Roman Reigns when Sheamus interrupts, and Sheamus comes out and says, whoa, hold on. What says he gets an opportunity? It doesn't work like that. Just because you like him doesn't work like that. I think it's time that Sheamus had another opportunity, because I am the biggest man in the yard, Roman. This is not your yard. Braun, you may be champion, but I could down you if I wanted to, because I am the arse-kicking Irish machine, Sheamus. And I've also got this guy, and King Corbin comes out, and Corbin again goes through the same thing, that he is the king of the WWE, the arrogant promo that comes out, and it looks like maybe we're going to tease a tag match, but actually Sheamus puts the challenge out there. He wants Roman Reigns tonight. 69 for the segment. The match is then officially made, and that's your main event tonight. Roman Reigns versus Sheamus. Braun Strowman will be keeping an eye on it for sure, as will King Corbin. It's Reigns and Sheamus tonight. First match of the card, 66, so not too bad here, and it's Mustafa Ali defeating Dolph Ziggler. A big win for Ali here, 57 performance from him. We're going to try and bring him up. Dolph Ziggler, again, 65, really good from him, and a 66 rated match is pretty damn good. Dolph getting a defeat here, which may surprise a few. You'd expect Dolph maybe to go over here with how we've booked it so far, but Ali gets a big victory with the reverse 450 splash. And after the match, it's a beatdown. Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler start beating down Mustafa Ali, when in a shocker, out comes the save from Ricochet. Ricochet, yes, surprising, I'm sure, for a few of you. Ricochet, a Raw superstar. What the hell is going on here? Ricochet runs out, makes a save. Mustafa Ali, I mean, Ziggler and Roode have to escape, but Ricochet has come to SmackDown. Why is Ricochet on SmackDown? He's not allowed on SmackDown. The brand split, we are keeping it tight. But Ricochet's made his way out here, and it doesn't seem like that was the plan. So 66 for a segment rating is pretty good. And maybe just putting Ricochet and Mustafa Ali perhaps together for the future. 66 though, pretty good. 62 for this, we go backstage to find Mandy Rose sort of just collecting herself, putting makeup on, doing her hair, whatever you want to say, when John Morrison comes up. Now John Morrison, the shaman of sexy, I think he used to be called, and he starts hitting on Mandy Rose. What he doesn't notice is that Otis is round the corner, and he can hear everything that's been said, and he's getting madder and madder. Mandy Rose is denying him. It's like, please, just leave me alone, please. And he's just sort of laying it in thick on Mandy Rose, but Otis is there, he can hear it, and he is not happy at what he's hearing. Great match here. Daniel Bryan in action, defeating Jackson Ryker in about 15 minutes with the no lock, the yes lock, whatever you want to call it. A 75 rated match, to 3.5, to 3 3/4 star match for Bryan here against Jackson Ryker. So that's really good from Ryker as well. 61 from him, but 81 from Bryan. And the former Intercontinental champion is back to winning ways, and it's announced after the match. This was just literally about getting Bryan a win, because it's announced after the match that Bryan will get his rematch next week here on SmackDown. Sami Zayn will be putting the Intercontinental Championship on the line, the one-on-one rematch in a 30-minute Iron Man match. It's Bryan and Zayn for 30 minutes, the most falls and the winner will be the Intercontinental Champion. Really should be good. Bryan and Zayn have had a 77 rated match twice. Can they do better on Smackdown next week? One half of the Smackdown Tag Team Champions, The Miz, was in action and he was facing off against Tucker and won the match, but it's a little bit of a dodgy finish. The Miz 73, really good. Tucker 53 as well, not bad for him. But the story of this is to do with Otis and to do with John Morrison. So obviously Otis and Mandy Rose are out there with Tucker, and of course John Morrison is out there with The Miz and Maurice, should be mentioned. And John Morrison can't help himself, and he starts continuously hitting on Mandy Rose, and Mandy Rose is getting frustrated, but Otis has enough and chases after John Morrison, and the run takes Morrison through the ring back to the other side. So Otis goes through the ring, and when he's in the ring, he runs straight into The Miz and instinctively hits the clothesline. And unfortunately, that's a DQ for Tucker. The Miz wins the match, but it doesn't really matter about the result because the heavy machinery kick arse here, basically. Miz takes a bit of a bump. John Morrison comes in to try and help. He takes a bump. And the SmackDown Tag Team Champions are left laying by heavy machinery. And Mandy Rose, of course, is very pleased with it. 69 for a good match here, considering everything we're trying to do. And afterwards, it's announced next week, we'll get the opposite. We'll get perhaps the revenge for Otis when he gets to take on John Morrison right here on SmackDown next week. So we've got Bryan and Zayn booked. Add to that, Otis and John Morrison. 65 rated segment here. As you can see, 6 men involved. Sami Zayn makes his entrance and he is furious because he's heard the announcement that he will have to put the title back on the line next week. He didn't agree to it. He's not happy with it. And he's furious that Daniel Bryan is getting another opportunity. And he's saying, isn't it time that we got somebody else in this picture? Isn't it time that Daniel Bryan, well, he went to the wayside and I want to take on the best? Sure, yeah, of course I do. But, I mean, Daniel Bryan, you've had your chance. Maybe it's someone else's opportunity. He's got Nakamura Cesaro next to him. He's maybe hinting that maybe he'd want to put it on the line against one of those when the New Day make their entrance. A bit of a shock here. They've obviously lost in the tag team title match. Did Big E and Kofi Kingston. Kofi taking the pin. And they come out here. And Big E Big E on the mic first sort of says, you know what, Sammy? You're right. For once, we agree that maybe there should be somebody else getting a title opportunity. Maybe it's somebody that's been here for a long time. Maybe it's somebody that has worked their arse off. And yes, they've had success. But there's somebody that right now doesn't have a championship on their shoulder. There's somebody that deserves a championship on their shoulder. And as he's saying all this, Kofi Kingston's, oh, stop it. I know, yes, no. Kofi, like, it's building up Kofi. It's saying Kofi, isn't it? It's saying Kofi. And Big E, as he's about to put the case across, Kofi goes, sort of doesn't stop him, but cuts him off on the mic and says, yeah, you know what, Big E, you're right. I should be Intercontinental Champion. I've held that belt before, Sammy, but I should be. Before he finishes, Big E cuts him back off and says, whoa. Who said I was talking about you? Hang on. I'm talking about me. Big E should be Intercontinental Champion. I want the title back that I haven't held for a long time. I can beat Sami Zayn. And Kofi's like, yeah, of course you can. Yeah, absolutely. Big E, yeah, Big E, of course. Sure, yeah, Big E. And Sami Zayn's like, right, okay. Sami Zayn says, has no sort of choice in the matter, that he said he wants a new challenger. And Big E's like, yeah, I'll be that new challenger. You beat Bryan, I'll be that new challenger. And Zayn is like, right. Yeah, well, you can. Sure. I mean, in theory. And of course I'm going to beat Bryan. Yeah, of course I am. But I'll beat you too, so don't worry about it, Big E. And the New Day start to make their way to the ring. And a 6-man brawl between the Big E... New Day and Artist Collective to end it. New Day standing tall. 65. We had to get through a lot there. And just maybe a little hint that there's a bit of tension in the New Day. Kofi has had a lot of singles opportunities as part of the New Day. Of course, he had that great WWE Championship run last year. And when Big E's talking about somebody getting a singles opportunity, Kofi has automatically assumed he meant him. Kofi automatically assumes that he'll be the one getting the opportunities. Maybe a little bit of tension going on there. After that, it's announced next week Big E will be looking to put his case well and truly forward when he takes on Cesaro in singles action. Big E in a singles match for the first time in a while, and he'll be taking on Cesaro next week here on Smackdown. 3 big matches already announced. We go backstage where we see Ember Moon, and Ember Moon seemingly is back. She's backstage preparing to make a return soon enough, and there is Bayley and Sasha Banks. They make their way to Moon and they start mocking Ember Moon. And Bayley says, listen, look at you. You were considered the next best thing in NXT once I left, once I handed over to Asuka. The idea was that Asuka would hand it over to you, but what happened? Sure, you may have had that title belt, and then you were meant to come up and you were meant to make a big splash like I did, like Sasha Banks did. What have you done? Nothing. You've been injured. And then you've been injured. And then you've been, what was that, Sasha? What was that? Oh, yeah, injured. So, ding dong, maybe you should just hang it up. Ember Moon is furious. You can see she's pulsing with rage. Doesn't say anything. Bayley and Sasha Banks walk away. But what this is building up towards is a 4th match announced for next week. We're on fire with these. And it's announced that Bayley and Ember Moon will go one-on-one next week. Bayley has talked her way into a fight. Ember Moon is back and will be back in the ring next week against the SmackDown Women's Champion. It's Firefly Funhouse time for 67. Perhaps could be better there, actually. Bray Wyatt is back in the Funhouse, and Bray Wyatt says on Sunday he fed. On Sunday he enjoyed himself. And then he got confused because what he wants to do, the Fiend, what he wants to do is protect the Chosen One, but the Chosen One seemingly doesn't want to be protected, and that's why Sunday went how it did. And I'm just very confused, Bray says. And a confused Bray Wyatt is a scary Bray Wyatt, and that's literally it. That is all. Bray Wyatt just skulks off confused, and just again a further hint of perhaps where we're going at SummerSlam. But the Fiend, well, he just wants to protect the Chosen One. Main event time then, it's Roman Reigns against Sheamus. Today, it's been a pretty good show, but nothing spectacular. Maybe these two can do the business. Reigns and Sheamus gets a 77. See that? Did you see that? Because that's I'm happy with. 79 from Reigns really was the main thing here. Sheamus 59 isn't great from him, but Reigns gets the win with the spear. Braun Strowman weak on the announcing desk is annoying. Sheamus off his game, but Reigns stands tall. Of course, though, Sheamus didn't come alone. So King Corbin attacks Reigns after the bell. Sheamus and King Corbin start to put the boots to Roman Reigns. And now, just as it looks like Braun Strowman is going to make the save, running down the ramp comes Daniel Bryan. 73 rate segment to end the show. Daniel Bryan comes running out to save Roman Reigns from Sheamus and King Corbin. Bryan is a man that, in his career, it's been very obvious he doesn't like bullies. And Sheamus and King Corbin are some of the biggest bullies in the company. So Daniel Bryan's not going to let that happen. Daniel Bryan saves Roman Reigns from the attack before Braun Strowman can even get up from his table. So it's not a big attack, obviously. But yeah, Daniel Bryan maybe inserting himself in this main event storyline. 73, really good end to the show, and it's given us a 74 rated SmackDown, so that's pretty good. Nothing was bad, I'll be honest with you. Nothing was bad in terms of matches. Everything hit quite well. Ali Ziggler perhaps could have been better is what I'd say, and some of the angles didn't quite hit how I wanted them to. Very angle heavy today. Only the 4 matches on SmackDown. And I understand that, but we're trying to build it up. We're trying to build up some storylines, and you can see the directions we're heading in for Extreme Rules and further on. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Week 1 of Extreme Rules build, and that's where we're heading. So yeah, you can already start to see matches being set up. A Universal Championship seems to be a multi-man, maybe. That's what I'm thinking. I've got to be honest with you. Again, the WWE Championship, there's multi-contenders. Will that be a multi-man match? Well, I guess we'll find out with that number 1 contenders triple threat match next week. NXT has got some big stuff going on next week too, of course. Adam Cole will be putting the NXT title on the line against Kushida. NXT UK sees the NXT UK women's title on the line in a triple threat. SmackDown has the Intercontinental Championship on the line in a Iron Man match. So big matches next week. Don't miss it. Oh, don't miss it. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel for more. And until next time, with my Ricochet shirt on. Peace.